Welcome.
It's been a busy week. I've made $0. This is the second episode of building a freelance business in 6 months. What did I do this week? I drafted 2 proposals for potential clients. One is a pretty sizable proposal, big project. It's a website redesign for a nonprofit. So I needed to bring in a crew for this. My expertise is around software design and programming. I have some weak spots around UI, UX, graphic design, wireframes and mockups. I don't really know how to do all that stuff, or I haven't really had a lot of experience doing those kinds of things. I have worked with CMS before, but my experience has been mostly around backend and systems design, less to do with the actual CMS editing, workflows, things like that. So I needed to bring in a partner for that, someone really well versed in CMS architecture, CMS systems, and has even made his own CMSs before. So this took almost a full day. It's my first proposal I've done before. I wanted to make it very professional. So I looked at a bunch of different proposal templates, put together information on the team, got some idea of milestones, what the milestones might be like, the timeline, payment structures, what I would charge for it, talked about the team, the strategy, tech stack would be, things like that. To be honest, though, I've heard that a client could already have a partner picked out or a vendor, and especially for nonprofits who have bylaws, they need to solicit a certain amount of bids for the project. So this could be one of those situations. I'm fine throwing my hat in the ring and take a shot. I made it a point to myself to time box the proposal to no more than one day, a day and a half, because knowing all of this, just to make sure that I was still focusing on other productive things for the business. I also worked on another proposal for a potential client. It's a smaller project, probably about 2 months. This person has a free plugin for some video editing software. I would be designing in an on-premise floating license solution for this person. So I kind of put it together. I took about a half a day for this. I went back and forth about scope and requirements and offered a price, and I think that was fair. I even offered a 25% discount, being that this person is one of my local Portland Discords. After some thinking, the client felt like the price would probably not be justified by what they projected they would get from the paid plugin revenue. I plan on following up with this person later. I try to open the conversation around a counter offer, what they think would be appropriate. I didn't really get a response, but I'll just follow up later. On the business development side, I posted in a couple Slack and Discord communities that I'm part of. One is a local startup Slack community called PDX Startups, run by Rick Terozzi. I've spent a lot of time there and will continue to spend a lot of time there. I followed up on an ask on siliconforest.com, which is a website for small businesses or people or startups that ask for certain kinds of help or people to offer their skills on that job board. I also followed up with a couple personal connections that I've done some engineering work for, small projects. They didn't have anything for me at the time, but I asked them to keep me in mind. I secured another testimonial from a former engineering manager on my LinkedIn and added that to my fliteconsulting.io website. So thanks, Kamal. I also wrote a couple blog posts on my personal site, markkleinhaus.com, which is kind of an outlet for my personal brand, my thoughts and ideas. It has my resume as well on there. But the blog is also just a fun way to document kind of just random thoughts throughout the week, shorter posts that I would do on LinkedIn or Blue Sky or something like that. Lately, it's been around different topics, basically around books and AI, usually some reflections are on books that I've been reading or have completed. I've also been helping a friend from Belgium on his game, kind of a side project he's doing. It's a roguelike game, kind of a Slay the Spire meets Against the Storm. I spent a couple hours understanding the game mechanics and helped brainstorm, offered feedback on different things, different ideas. I've been feeling an itch to draw up something for this game, animate something. I always thought that would be fun. It's got a cool aesthetic, like a cyberpunk, Mad Max style thing. I also attended a digital creatives, also called Digital Dabblers, meetup this morning at Honey Latte Cafe. I met Daniel and some other cool folks. Daniel's on the board of this nonprofit. They offer workshops and resources and communities around content creation, animation, things like that. While it's not totally related to software development, I think the animation, content creation stuff is really, really fun. And honestly, while I intend to be really heads down on building this business over the next 6 months, I'm also being open to exploring all of my curiosities or enthusiasm wherever that leads me. In other unrelated news, I met with Justin and Deanna over at Hollowed Hall Studio and pitched a documentary for recording my band Fluid Druid's next EP there. I submitted that as a grant request to the Echo Fund, which just closed this Friday. Hopefully we'll win some funding for the idea. I think it's a really cool idea. Honestly, it got me thinking about the crossovers between grant writing and business development and marketing, basically just ways to get people invested in you, invested in your ideas, in your business, your band, whatever. There has to be a compelling story, something unique and compelling about your band or your business or your idea. And writing that grant was a really fun exercise in coming up with a creative, unique, compelling idea, which I think we do have. I think I'll find with the business as well. I'll find with my personal pursuits and creative pursuits. But it just underscores how important storytelling really is, and I'll continue to work on that. All right, plans for next week. I'd like to probably stop by the Upstart Collective or post in their Slack community, exploring one of the ideas for my business, my freelance software development business, around building MVPs for non-technical founders. I was chatting with Ferris from NetSpace Co-working, and he brought up a good point. Investors have trouble investing in projects where founders don't have the technical ability to carry it to market. So while they might have an MVP, if they don't have any resources to technically carry that project forward, that could be a problem for investors. He also brought up a good point about freelancing, which is that you're oftentimes slammed between sales and fulfillment. And yeah, I'm just not sure how to get around that problem as a new freelancer until you get a few really good clients, well-paying clients, and you have some kind of subscription or maintenance revenue stream in place. I'm not really sure what to do there. So if you're an experienced freelancer, I'd love to hear from you. I imagine a possible evolution for the business too is maybe I just focus exclusively on business development and sales, networking, securing deals, developing a team or a network of subcontractors to actually complete those projects. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm planning on really going heads down on my portfolio over the next couple of weeks. I've got a few projects that I'll put up on there. One is my Tech PDX website. I've changed the website to be a kind of front-facing event blog where I go out to events, take pictures, we document, we write things up there. Tech PDX calendar is on a subdomain, calendar.techpdx.io, where people can still go there. It's still an open source project that's maintained, that welcomes contributors. People can go there and add events. It's still a community crowdsourced calendar. So kind of a combo there. And hopefully website becomes popular enough that I could start a newsletter, maybe start some ad revenue or sponsorship for the newsletter. That's the plan. I'm also going to build a website for my band Fluid Druid. It's going to have a CMS a simple CMS that my band members can go in and post content, update it as they need to. It's going to have a simple e-commerce store. I'll also be relaunching the Gigomatic app. And I'm going to build that in Flutter or React Native. This app has previously served the marching band community. It's an app that people can use to gauge availability for rehearsals and gigs because the bands are quite large in number. That will go in the portfolio. So yeah, once I have those three basic things in there, that's enough for me. I really will need to turn around and start doing just a lot of business development, marketing, developing leads, cold calls, hitting up everybody in my network. I've heard the good thing to do is to kind of start with your friends and family, build them something for cheap, do a really good job, obviously, and then build the recommendation engine from there. Next week, I'll be attending an AI and healthcare forum at PSU. I'm attending an AI infrastructure and AWS talk. I'm also attending the Pick Squad Game Jam celebration. My band is also kicking off our fall tour at Shanghai Tunnel. It was really hard to say for some reason. All right. I hope everyone has an awesome and productive week. Good luck out there, and we'll see you next week.